Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Rope Trick.
Huh? It's one of those little like ropes that get longer and then they shrink and then you can like tie them and they cut them and it's a magician.
No.
It's you're right. This isn't Job again. This is a second level cast time of an action spell for wizards and artificers. I love this thing. It's very stupid. It's got rate of touch. Rolls magic material multi components requires a powdered corn extract and a twisted loop of parchment. I love reading spell components. Duration's an hour, no concentration, which is big game. So you touch a length of rope that's up to 60 feet long. One end of the rope then rises into the air until the whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance opens to an extra-dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends. The extra-dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope. The space can hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures. The rope can be pulled into the space, making the rope disappear from view outside of the space. Attacks and spells can't cross through the entrance into or out of the extra-dimensional space, but those inside can see out of it as though it were a 3 by 5 foot window centered around the rope. Anything inside the extra-dimensional space drops out when the spell ends.
Yeah, this is one of those reverse situations where you love it, and I think it's all right. No, actually, I think it's really good and useful, but I don't know. I feel like it kind of hurt pacing if a dungeon master has a carefully planned out series of encounters.
I think that while that is sometimes true, I think also a consideration is your DM might not be, and like I've had these times as a DM myself. I wasn't the best. I didn't have a great gauge on how taxing my encounters were, and I didn't account for specific things.
Hmm.
Players like to use their resources. They don't like conserving things unless they're one-time single-use forever things, right? Like potions and stuff that don't come back will never get used. And things like spell slots, key points, and martial maneuvers, those are going to get fired off the moment an opportunity presents itself for it to happen, right? Pacing is not something that Dungeons & Dragons does well.
Hmm.
Namely, because like this isn't a game that you sit down and play solo for 50, 60 hours. This isn't something where you learn to juggle and manage your resources and like struggle your way through a lot of these things. A lot of times it's, I haven't had an opportunity to use this spell yet. I want to see what it does. I'm going to cast it my first opportunity too. And that's going to get how Rope Trick then fits in this world as a short rest than a can. As I
Yeah.
overextended myself, the party may have overextended themselves. The monk wants to be able to participate next fight. Let's go into the hallway before the boss room. Everyone gets in the Rope Trick. We get the key points back from the short rest, and then we move on with our lives. And honestly, that isn't going to trivialize an encounter. That isn't going to make something that was planned and balanced a specific way all of a sudden not function. That's largely because a lot of the balance is something that you're like guessing at. Most DMs aren't so in touch with the statistics and math behind things
Yeah.
that they're gonna be good at balancing counters anyway. A lot of times players are gonna roll over things because someone rolled 2 20s in a row, and all of a sudden a third of the actions that were in that one monster are just gone, right? Like just removed from the fight all of a sudden. There isn't a balancing lever that can handle crits that well. This game is highly varied, and having encounters that are big, splashy, and allow people to do their cool thing, I think is important. And that's honestly not even why I love Rope Trick, because I don't even love it just as a short rest in a can. I think it has a lot of other cute little things that,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
make it.
Um, Here's what I was thinking. Uh, Alternate use. You're being chased up a tower, going up all the stairs. You get in the final room. Rope trick, and you open the window. Rope trick, disappear. The guard that's chasing you thinks you jumped out the window. He's looking around for you. Surprise! Kick him out the window.
That's really cool. I love Rope Trick for that exact reason. It's kind of like group invisibility. It's kind of like just this little hidey hole that if you can position correctly can goozle some people. I love that element of it. I love the Looney Tunes-esque, you vanish and then you come out of the wall and you push somebody off of a bridge or whatever. There's a lot of cuteness to have in there. Also, we didn't mention this is kind of a fly adjacent spell because it just sends a rope 60 feet vertically, right? Like
Yeah,
you don't have to use it to get inside. You could just say, I need to climb this building. Well, Rope Trick goes all the way up. That'll work.
yeah,
And that gives you a rope that gets you to the high vantage point that you might need. Now, that's not 90% of the use case of this thing, but it is a little bit of extra juice that is attached to the spell that makes the utility a little better. Is this a spell that you're going to need every session? No. Is this a spell you have to kind of like work extra hard to use this thing, I think.
I don't know, but you could definitely work it into a lot of sessions.
Absolutely.
For different uses.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing where you take Rope Trick if you want to use Rope Trick. You don't take Rope Trick because it's going to be a good tool to solve a lot of problems, right? This is the kind of thing you want to use because of the gimmick, not because it's going to like incidentally solve a lot of problems, I think.
I don't know, maybe if you're a wizard in a party of a bunch of warlocks. Short rest. Get those spells back. Yeah.
Sure. Well, some DMs might even be hard asses about it, right? And because this thing ends, like, there isn't a real way you can have exactly 1 hour in this thing. Because you have to spend a round getting in it. And you getting ejected from it might not be light activity. And all of a sudden the short rest ends and you don't get the benefits of it because you didn't actually finish it. That's kind of hard-ass DMing that I don't love and I wouldn't recommend doing.
That takes away most of Rope Trick.
Yeah, most of what this is it's the better version of Catnap, which is a 10-minute short rest. This is you actually have to short rest, but you can kind of do it anywhere. And the kind of do it anywhere bit is where it's, I think, particularly valuable. Also, dress up your pocket dimensions. Don't make it just look like a black darkness. Make it comfy. Make it cozy. It's your pocket dimension. Color it however you like.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like a little treehouse.
Yeah, sure, why not? You get a little "No Girls Allowed" poster on one side of it, and you got the cool new wrestler magazines on the other, and the Nintendo cheat codes and stuff. Yeah, absolutely, do it up Bart Simpson style. I think I don't know. I like Rope Trip as a gimmick. I like Rope Trip as this oddity from older editions that's like playing with extra dimensional space in a really cheap fashion because it's a second level spell. It's going to lead to some moments that might siphon a bit of drama. I'm not going to lie to you about that. There are going to genuinely be times where like you're supposed to feel like you're injured, like this threat is dangerous and going to take you out, and you go, everyone chill. I'll Rope Trick. The DM didn't think that didn't prepare around me having this. They're not going to be a jerk and camp outside of it. We're going to get our hit dice back, and the tension's going to kind of get siphoned out while everyone gets their short rest in whenever they were supposed to be taxed on resources. Like that was part of the game experience. That makes it kind of a spell that you want to talk to your DM about. I think most tables aren't that. I think most tables are perfectly fine having encounters where your aim is to have most of your short rest resources every single fight. Honestly, I'm a big proponent of a house rule where you just get your short rest resources back whenever you go into a fight. But like your mileage is going to vary based off your DM. That's a house rule that's got a whole big can of worms around it. We'd have to have a video on.
Yeah,
but like
that's an interesting conversation right there.
Yeah,
because I'm not sure I agree. But
I think I could convince you without all that much effort. But agnostic to that, this is something you want to probably be like, hey, DM, I was thinking about taking Rope Trick. Are you a Rope Trick fan? I want to use it to get short rests. I want to use it for the cute tools around it and the tricks and trades and the sneaking around, and everyone can hide all of a sudden elements to it. But your mileage is going to vary based off of what your DM is into, what your group's into. There'll be some tables where this won't even be that useful, where you'll be like, we're flush on rests. I don't really find there to be that much value in just hiding in one specific place. It doesn't do that much. So,
well, I mean, yeah, if you are using it for short rests, like especially in enemy territory, then if somebody sees you, they have an hour to gather their forces.
They know exactly where you went into, right?
Exactly.
So they're like, great, we're just gonna layer dynamite right underneath it, and we're gonna set a timer. It's the tiny hut solution, right? Where it's just great. The dragon just sits on top of the tiny hut and waits. Breath weapon ready.
So yeah, be careful out there.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I think it's fine. It's not game breaking by any stretch of imagination. I think more people blow out of proportion is like, oh, but my balance. Your balance was crap anyway. My balance is crap. Like, calm it down. Let your players have the resources and do their cool stuff.
I feel like it's a 4. I think it's got a lot of potential. A lot of good times. But
maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna rate it high at the beginning, despite not loving it so much. But you've warmed me to it, so 4 it is for me. All right, that was Rope Trick. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know some of your Rope Trick stories down in the comments, and like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it, a gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description where you'll find my Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.